Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. Once again, I'm out here out in public in a park doing this video because I am on vacation still, but I got to put in the work. So in this video, I'll tell you about two foreigners arrested for stealing shoes on vacation. 23-year-old Filipino mom arrested for attempting to sell her 1-year-old baby. Cambodia sees a rise in tourism. A Filipino motorist tickets for using not just one, a bunch of Filipino motorists actually ticketed for using loud exhaust systems, and plus much more, beginning with the USD to peso exchange rate. Right now, 1 USD equal to 56.5. I don't know why I put my phone back in my pocket because I need this to go ahead and tell you guys what's going on. And you guys can see around me, many people wearing kimonos and taking photos and such. It's a beautiful dress. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. So two Iranian men from Iran were arrested in Phuket after allegedly stealing multiple pairs of trainers from a local shoe shop, prompting cooperation between tourists and police to recover the items. Now, trust me, I understand. People have different budgets. People have different lifestyle. People have different resources. But to go on vacation and steal shoes from a local shop, that's a whole nother level of just being low. Not just a foreigner, just as a human being. Now, it makes everybody else look bad when you're out here teeth and shoes, bro. Like, how badly do you need shoes? Next up, let's just move on. Yeah, basically, if you can't afford to be on vacation, just like maybe focus on earning some money so you can enjoy yourself a little bit and not have to resort to stealing shoes. Let's go to the Philippines. A drunk man identified as Ronello, 31, was arrested in Cebu City after allegedly causing a disturbance in Barangay Dojo Fatima. When police responded to reports of him shouting and challenging residents to a fight, Ronello allegedly shoved and cursed a policewoman trying to pacify him. He resisted arrest but was eventually subdued and detained at Mambalang police station. He now faces charges of alarm and scandal and for resisting and disobeying authorities under Article 151 of the revised Penal Code. Sometimes that happens, you're under the influence and you feel a little bit too confident, right? So you challenge policewomen and random people on the street to a fight, I guess. Next up, 18 motorists were ticketed in the Philippines for using noisy exhaust systems on the motorbikes. Obviously, it's the motorists, right? In Manila. Now, you just got to multiply that by probably a million, right? So if you live in the Philippines, actually, to be fair, many countries in Southeast Asia, even if there's like guidelines on what, like how loud your exhaust system can be, the muffler is not installed or whatever. So yeah, you just gotta multiply it by a lot because not me personally, but a lot of people do complain about just loud noise in the Philippines. Personally, I don't really hear it too much because usually I stay in the city center or in the condos and it's not too much of a problem. So it's not really an issue for me, but a lot of people do say that loud motorists in the Philippines is a common issue. Now, I really don't know where to go to show you guys some things around here, but let me walk a bit because I'm trying not to walk against the light so you don't see like just pure shadow. But let me go ahead a little bit over here, give you guys a little bit more. Okay, next up, a couple of crazy stories still in the Philippines. The first one being a 23-year-old woman was arrested after attempting to sell her 1-month-old baby online. This is one of those things where like it's hard, man. I can't even imagine what that's like to be in a position where you have to resort to that. Obviously, prevention will be the number one thing. If you don't have the resources, the means, the want, the need to not be in that position, we have to go ahead and resort to that. But of course, it's against the law. You can't be doing that, making a baby and trying to sell it on Facebook. Now, last year, I don't know if it's something in my ear or like a buzzing or something. Last year, there was multiple Facebook groups in the Philippines that got shut down because they were basically selling them, right? 1-year-olds, month old, whatever. The age, I don't think matters. But so this one is the latest one of someone in the Philippines trying to sell the baby. Let me go ahead and cross this area and I'll show you guys a little bit of this while I make her cross the bridge. Look at this. Ain't that beautiful? Can you guys hear the cicadas in the background? And even, whoa, this is great lighting. I should stay here. Check out the sunset. Should I walk backwards like this? Yeah, let me find the next story. So that's that. And the next crazy story is about an unfortunate man here. A man was, let's say, a man perished after being dragged by a Philippines National Railway train in Barangay Bagong Bayan de Manan, Camarines del Sur. Yeah, people said that, witnesses said that right before the train came, they saw the man appear out of nowhere on the train track. Not sure if he was aware of the train. Sometimes people want to take selfies with the trains and stuff. I've seen most of that in like Thailand and Vietnam, but first time I've heard something like this happening in the Philippines. I think I'm gonna get away from under this tree, but it's quite loud. So, pretty sad. Obviously, anytime a life is lost, but let's go on to our next story. A Filipino residing in Texas was shocked to wake up to flooding in their home in San Angelo, Texas on Friday as the area barely gets any rain, she says. Imagine that, trying to escape the Philippines and the floods. We go to Texas, a place that barely gets any rain, and all this recent flooding. Apparently, it's really bad actually. Up to 80 individuals have lost their lives in the massive flooding in Texas, the U.S. on July 4th, as authorities continue to search for missing girls at a summer camp there. Pretty sad and crazy to think about. So many people. I think probably a lot of it comes down to not being prepared, right? So, also I feel like I'm out of breath. Am I out of breath? I'm walking around. Talk about getting fat, right? When you just run out of breath for no reason. A lot of people probably not prepared, right? Because Texas and many parts of the U.S., I'm sure, barely see any flooding, right? So that's pretty crazy. Let me know if you guys have any idea. Speaking of flooding, this is the opposite, right? Dry. It's yeah, I see the sunset. Beautiful. Thank you, random stranger. Yeah, I think I got a couple more stories for you guys before I if I sign out. So what's up? You want to hold it for me while I go ahead and wipe this juice off my forehead?
Walk backward.
Walk backwards? Yes, my producers tell me to walk backwards, guys. So let's talk about the Sri Lankan man caught smuggling. You know, this is going to be an overlay they can't see.
You talk first then. Then we'll talk backward later.
Okay, we'll walk backwards later. So a man from Sri Lanka was caught smuggling snakes in underwear in Bangkok airport. Nothing new. Once again, happens quite often. Fourth one I know about this year. In one of those most bizarre wildlife smuggling cases last year, Sri Lankan man, I'm not going to read all that. Dude trying to sneak in snakes in his underwears, you know? So this happens often because they sell them, obviously abroad. It's not right. You shouldn't be doing it. And I don't know why it's so sweaty. Walking backwards. So what is the point of this? This is nothing cool. Nobody. It looks like I'm running away from something. How bad is my sweat though? Pretty bad, huh? Pretty bad. You want to see a sunset back this way? Okay. And lastly, let's talk about Cambodia. So Cambodia has recorded a total of 3.42 million international passengers in the first half of 2025, representing a 16% year-on-year increase, according to an official report released by the state secretary. Says that from January to June this year, the majority of the travelers to the kingdom were from China, Thailand, Vietnam, South Korea, and Japan. Looks like Cambodia seeing a surge in tourism. I was there this year. Yeah, last year. I can't remember. Yeah, probably this year. But yeah, really, I loved it. I've been there twice, and to be honest, it's a pretty cool place. Cambodia, if you've never been there, I highly recommend it to just check it out. If you're going to be hanging around the Philippines, Thailand, and places in Southeast Asia, Cambodia is a must-visit place. Especially Siem Reap and Angkor Wat is a must-visit place. Some of the most beautiful ancient temples, massive structures that I've ever seen. So pretty awesome there. Now we're just gonna read a couple comments from last video and then we'll just wrap it up, because a lot of people's left the comments regarding the deer that we saw mainly. So everybody talking about the deer, and don't worry, the deer were well taken care of. So Rocket Man says that bar owner in Pattaya was found guilty of pimping underage girl. Should have gotten life without parole. Oh, I had no idea, because I just read the headline. To be honest, as you guys can tell, these last couple of videos haven't been researched thoroughly, so I just read the headlines. But I guess the dude was doing that kind of stuff, which is obviously not okay, and he deserves every single minute he gets in prison. Another person, 111, says, hey Alex, per circular letter 2025, you're supposed to get the deer's permission before vlogging or blur its face. How dare you? a joke about the fact you have to go ahead and blur bystanders' faces in the Philippines if you're a vlogger. And that's basically it. We're going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below regarding any of the stories I covered today. Let me know if you guys can hear the nature in the background, the cicadas, the crows. Caw, caw, caw. So that's it. A bunch of people here. Nothing else to really say. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Give you guys a quick look. I recommend, if you need shoes that bad, to go ahead, go back to your home country, and let me go ahead and get away from this loud noise while I'm making a video. Because you know, Chinese tourists don't give a fuck what's going on. They just come right up in your camera, don't care. They tend to be some of the loudest fucking tourists. Excuse my language. They don't give a shit. So the worst gotta be Chinese than Indian man them. Those two groups of people, no respect. I don't care if I'm stereotyping, generalizing. I've been traveling all my life, and I can say that from my experience personally, those two groups are like the worst. I mean, you could say, well, you're in public, bro. Yeah, I get it, but it's just overall loudness. I've never heard a Japanese person voice out loud. I've been here for like over a month. Anyhow, what are we talking about? This whole thing got out of control real quick. But let me get away from this noise. That's what I was talking about. So I'm out here trying to give you guys some information, right? So we're talking about, yeah.